Hello, and welcome to the last two reviews of the week. In the previous two videos this week, I reviewed the Marvel books and the DC books that came out, and now it's time for the remainders, starting with James Bond 007, issue number 2, which is frankly kind of a slow, boring issue, despite it kind of beginning with a car crash. So, how we get to this point is that James Bond lands in Berlin, meets with a fellow spy, this woman from Vermont, or maybe not. She turns out to be a femme fatale, tries to kill James Bond, and he gets into a car crash. And then, which is pretty funny, gets out, female spy runs away, and James Bond just gets his luggage from the trunk and goes to the location he's supposed to be at, which is a great opening. And then the rest of this issue is just Bond doing something I've actually never seen Bond do before, and it's kind of weird. It's just James Bond making small talk. Like, he's not flirting with the woman, he's not making witty one-liners or anything. It's just like, is the office coffee any good? Oh, I'd love some, thank you. And making just like small talk with these people. And as weird as that is for James Bond, I don't think I've ever seen James Bond just small talk before. It's still small talk. It's still boring. James, we still get a little bit of personality hints from Bond. He's reveals in this small conversation that it's revealed he's still very strongly patriotic for the UK, which is a part of his character, that he's kind of an imperialist, and that seems to be a little bit toned down here, but it's still under the surface. James Bond gets his gun back, and then he goes to investigate the lab that he's going to. I forget exactly why he's going to this lab. Something about drugs, and he discovers that they are building highly advanced prosthetics at this lab, and that'll become a thing in the future of this book, as that ties into the super drugs or whatever. So yeah, kind of a meh kind of issue. Again, there's just parts where Bond small talks with people. The car crash is cool in a very James Bond sort of way, but it's also done before in a very James Bond sort of way. Again, I think this is also following a very explosive first issue, so maybe it's just that. And James Bond, the movies always have this kind of dull moment, and where he's kind of staking out the bad guys or whatever. So it's not like everything in James Bond is constant explosions. And we get there's that interesting car crash in the beginning of the book. I can't say it's bad. It's just kind of meh. It's just kind of there. It's obviously still telling leading up to the important actiony bits of the story, which I can't fault it for. And it's not bad. It's not like I was bored while reading this, but afterwards, when I even a minute after, I was thinking, well, what happened? What's exciting about this issue? And there's the car crash. Oh yeah, that car crash happened. And then after that, it's also a really short issue, or at least it feels really short. It goes really quickly. Reading it felt like I blinked and it was over. So the pacing's good. I just wish that there was more things happening to be paced out. So that is basically my opinion on James Bond 007. Still going to be picking it up because I like the writer, I like the franchise, and again, that first issue was super good. And this wasn't a bad issue; it was just kind of a issue. And the last book I will be reviewing this week is Paper Girls issue number 3, which just gets weirder and weirder. And this also felt like a really fast issue, actually. Just reading it, it felt like, again, blink and it was kind of over. We begin with kind of a cold open following these new characters. Not Marty McFly, but he's dressed like Marty McFly because it's still the day after Halloween. But Terry is his name, and this girl, what's her name? Gabrielle, who he kisses her. She doesn't like it because they're not friends in that sort of way. So Terry's being a whole big jerk just because it's the end of the world. But then they quickly get vaporized by this future guy. So I guess all's well that ends well. Then catching up with our main girls, we find out where that bullet went that went off in the last issue, and it embedded itself right into Erin's gut. So now the girls have to get Erin to a hospital before she dies of having a bullet in her gut. We get some great dialogue between the girls here as they're wondering, should we bring the gun with us? And the girl's like, no, of course we don't bring the gun with us. We just, we have to drive someone to the hospital now. And they figure out, well, how are we going to get to the hospital? It's like, oh, I can drive. You can drive. You're 12. That sort of great little, teen dialogue sort of things going on there when it's the end of the world. Very like Spielbergian stuff. It's very E.T., very Goonies. Again, those comparisons just kind of make themselves known. And then things get weird. We see a bit of Erin's kind of dying daydreams. She's ice skating with Reagan, and then the great pumpkin Charlie Browning with Reagan. Because, of course, Reagan got shot and didn't die either. And just, I don't know. I get this weird immediate gag reflex whenever I see Reagan in something. Probably not the best thing. Maybe I should get that checked out. Anywho. And then our girls, of course, run into the future guy, who's speaking this weird future lingo, it seems. It's like, know how the letter U lurked so long, but end credits for the lot masters. Your transgress wouldn't be. And, it definitely feels like lingo. It feels like slang, from the future. There's some text speak in there. There's just some, shortening and Elijahing of words, I guess. I'm not sure if Elijahing. But there's also some Middle English there, or early modern English, ye locals. It's this weird, funny kind of made up English language, which seems, not implausible for the future, because that's the direction slang goes, as it always goes in directions you don't expect. But it also doesn't feel as natural as something like the slang in A Clockwork Orange did. This feels a bit forced in a way. Maybe that's because I'm familiar with, today's slang with the text speak and memes and whatnot and the cats. But, it's just a weird sort of thing. And then they make a joke where he picks up a translator and he speaks this really upper class English sort of thing too. And then the book ends with another twist involving Future Man, the ninjas, and the girls, which I don't want to spoil because this is a really fun book and you should really pick it up for yourself and see how things develop. Luckily, we are finding out things in a more rapid pace by this issue. The girls are finding out more about what's happening, or at least getting into the people who can explain what's happening to them. And it's just a pretty book. Even the scenes where they're just in a car at night, it's just really pretty stuff. It's fun to look at. It's fun to read. Again, really well paced. It's just, if anything, it was over a little too quickly. But it's a book I'm enjoying month in and month out, so I can't really complain. It's a cool story. And now we're getting future slang guys with laser beams on giant pterodactyls. So, really, you can't really complain about that, I don't think. That is Paper Girls number 3, something I really enjoy, and I hope you pick up so you can enjoy it too. That is it for this week's comic book reviews. Thank you for watching this part of the video. If you're interested in the Marvel or DC books, those are in the previous 2 parts, which are already up by now. But if you're not going to, watch those, thank you for watching this one. I hope you did like it. If so, please rate it. If you want to, please subscribe. Any comments, questions, recommendations, anything whatsoever, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And that is it for this week's reviews. Again, thank you for watching, and I hope that you'll join me next week for some more comic book reviews.